Hi guys, welcome back to this weekly outlook. Let's get started. So, EuroJPY, let's start with Euro pairs as always. We have EuroJPY where we have this whole inverse head and shoulder setup. Price didn't pull back fully to the neckline area, so it was basically a missed trade by my side. But overall, respected the analysis of this inversion pattern for the inverse head and shoulders. Okay. Euromax this is still the same analysis from the last weekly outlook where we have this bearish level for breaker retest and this is a potential trade for the breaker retest to go short. Once we come back to the zone, we have 61.8 fib as well as a key level of resistance. Euro USD, this doesn't really have any setup except for a potential inversion here, as we have head and shoulders formation. So you could consider taking this trade, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, at the beginning of the week, if we have a confirmation of this rejection, or if we don't have any major gap. We also have price breaking below the previous low, which is a good signal always for the bearish side, as you can see. And price already rejected with a nice bearish engulfing candle. So this classifies as a valid setup to go short on Euro USD. And yeah, we'll see how market will behave at, on the open in a few hours. GBP CHF, this is the setup I shared last week. We had this clear Mercury to go short on this very important level here. Price broke below the zone as well as the previous low here. So we had a break below the low, which classifies as a strong break on the market structure. It's clearly a bearish setup. On the daily side, we are rejected multiple times with a bearish engulfing candle here, bearish engulfing candle here, and another strong bearish rejection. So this is a high quality trade. Um, so yeah, we had multiple rejections on this level. We also had this multiple engulfing candles, one here, another one here, bearish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, another strong bearish engulfing candle. So we had definitely multiple confirmations, and this is still a trade that's running with a target on this support level. We'll see how this will play out. Overall, it looks great at the moment, as price also broke below the level of structure. We had this low, where price broke below and came back, took out this high, rejected once again, and we had a dramatic drop once again. So this is still quite a valid trade to go short on GBP CHF. GBP JPY, we have a potential head and shoulders trade. We have the left shoulder, the head, and I'm just looking for price to pull back on this neckline to look for a potential trade to go short. If price rejects on that zone, so if we have an entry indication here, which is basically a bearish engulfing candle, this will be a potential trade to go short. So very interesting scenario. GBP NZD, this was covered on the last weekly outlooks. The last one, the previous one as well. This week market wasn't that quick. We didn't have that much volatility, but indeed it moved. Kept respecting the level. We had a major rejection here, which is quite nice. Or you could have tried another entry, as well as the entry here, which was shared on the last weekly outlook. Um, So yeah, at this moment you just hold the trade all the way down here to the target, or for a higher risk reward ratio, you can hold to this low here. This was covered on, you can check the last recordings to see this was covered on. This is a head and shoulder setup, by the way. You can see it more clearly on the daily. A left shoulder, head, break below the low, which is a good signal, and the pullback on the level with a slow pullback and the rejection. So definitely high probability trade. GBP/USD, I'm considering a trade to go long on this pair as this pair has been going long for quite some time. We also broke above this high. We broke above this previous high here as well. Now price is on the last recent level here of support and resistance where it already rejected, and now it made this rejection and it pulled back. So if we have price rejecting once again on the key level with the weeks rejections or bullish engulfing candles, then I'll be considering this trade setup to go long on GBP USD. But at the moment, I'm just waiting for the rejection because the price is just going bearish. I want to see price reject the area first before considering any trade. USD CAD, this was covered in the last weekly outlook as well. This is another example of a trade that came back to the zone, rejected with strong candles, and he ended up stopping me out above this high and rejecting once again on the 78.6. So I decided to re-enter here, around here, where price started to break below the market structure. It broke below this low here, as you can see, higher high and lower high, lower low. Broke out of this low, came back, rejected on the level once again, and dropped. So this respected market structure quite well and was overall a very strong trade as we have a very clear market structure, price breaking below the lows with strong momentum to the downside. I always look for strong momentum on the break below and a slower retracement. Um, so yeah, quite an interesting trade, and it's unlucky. It was very unlucky, but because it was very close to the target, pretty much. We'll see how if it can reach the target on the market open. I might consider closing the trade. I already closed most of the positions. Like I took partials at the end of the at market closure. As I saw price retracing back. Uh, so yeah. USD CHF. Yeah, this is a trade that didn't take, but it respected overall the analysis. Just like USD CAD, it went above the level and rejected on its 78.6 and just continued with the bearish structure. You could have taken a re-entry here. As you can see, we have quite an interesting level here where price rejected. This would have been a nice entry indication. After this candlestick, this sort of three candlestick pattern, we had this strong bearish candle after testing level.
Yeah,
You could have you could have taken
how
for
much did you say she give me?
on this low here
Drop in, jump on top of
or
the
on this zone, basically.
that small glass. See the
So yeah, um, definitely an interesting trade if you manage to re-enter here. USD/JPY, this is another trade I missed. It was Head and Shoulders. I didn't really catch it, so in fact I didn't even share it on the last weekly outlook. But we had this left shoulder head, which was quite clear. Price with the bearish momentum, closing below this low as well, rejecting very nicely. This was an entry indication, not so clear, but it could go on the H1, and we had this first rejection and then the final, let's say, confirmation where we have the bearish engulfing candle. So this would have been a nice entry indication to go short. targeting the low, and it would have been this would have been a nice trade. But I didn't manage to enter. I realized it was a head and shoulders when it was too late, actually. UDCHF, this is still the same trade from the last 2 or 3 weekly outlooks. I've been saying that I'm waiting for this test on this zone for a potential swing trade to go short, but it's still taking some time to enter, which is good. I want to see a slow pullback. So same analysis, we have a clean break, slow retracement, 61.8 fib. So those are all the confluences to look for an entry to go short in this specific scenario if we have the entry indication on the zone. AUD and ZD, I didn't take this trade, but I want to show you guys. Actually, this was, yeah, this was just, I just put it for as an example, as we had this breaker retest to go short on the daily time frame, and price respected the breaker retest to go short. We had this bearish engulfing candle as well. You will see that you retested perfectly here. And yeah, I'm just targeting this low. That will be targeting this low, but I'm not in this trade. Um, As you can see, for information purposes, you can see that price went for a bullish structure to retest the level, and now it started forming a bearish structure, uh, going to the downside. We have this low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So all of these retracements, all of these lower highs are valid re-entry points for this trade. You could have entered here for a trade to the short. You could have re-entered somewhat around here. You could have found an entry as well to go short here and so on. So overall, respecting the analysis, the final target would be this low. If you want to be more conservative, you can just target this overall area here just to be more conservative and take a more sure target, let's say. AUD-USD, this is a trade I'm in at the moment. This was still from the last weekly outlook. Breaker retest to go long. So the overall bullish structure, price with the break above the previous highs. High at this level. I know that price just broke through the level, but once I saw price coming back up, and without invalidating this low, without breaking this low, I still considered the bullish structure valid. So I decided to take an entry, which was quite aggressive on this momentum where it broke above those highs. So that was my entry to go long, and instead price just continued in drawdown. I'm caught. Oh, I'm covered below. All right. Yeah, I'm covering myself below this low. So we'll see if price will have bullish momentum at the beginning of next week. And as also I'm considering not taking GBP USD for this reason, because we still have AUD USD. So since we still have AUD USD long, it wouldn't be really made it wouldn't really make sense to enter on GBP USD long, as I'm already taking the same setup, which is basically going short on dollar. Um, NZDCHF, this was shared again on the last weekly outlook. This was happening during the outlook as we were having, I believe, this H4 candle closing bearish engulfing candle. I said that if price was closing as a bearish engulfing candle, this would have been a solid set. We have multiple confluences to take this trade, and yeah, pretty much tested on this clean break, as you can see on the daily clean break level, slow retest. We also had this sort of strong level where price tested multiple times. We had multiple rejections, price breaking below this previous low, and a strong bearish engulfing candle here. So yeah, that's the whole idea behind this trade. now forming a much more clear bearish structure in some way. Even though it's sideways, it's still tending declining on the bearish side. Entity JPY, this is an inverse head and shoulder setup on the daily time frame. This very clear. We come from a downtrend, so this is an inversion trade, counter trend trade. We have a left shoulder head price with a strong momentum breaking above those highs and a potential retest on this neckline. So this will be my area to go long. Again, this is a daily time frame, so this is quite a high time frame trade. So this is more of a swing trade that will take some days and weeks in order to play out. So we have to be patient in this case. CAD JPY, this is another potential head and shoulders. I know we've covered so many trade setups, but this week it's looking so great with so many setups. So I'm just waiting for market open to see how price will react and if we have a clear rejection or if we don't have any gaps, we will be looking for a trade to go short. This is the left shoulder head. This will be a potential right shoulder. I like price breaking below the previous low, so confirming the bearish momentum. So quite a high probability trade in this case. We'll see how market opens. UK oil, this is an example of another trade from the last weekly outlook where price was around here and it was potentially going to test this level, which was an important level of inversion where price tested multiple times. It tested the level and rejected with a clear bearish engulfing candle, as you can see. This is the entry indication, the bearish engulfing candle, targeting the low. And again, this is more of a sideways market, but it's more on the bearish side. As you can see, we're making lower lows and lower highs. As you can see here, price, it's more on a declining trend more than anything. And now it decided to make new breaks of structure. US oil, this is the same setup for like weeks, if not even months. I've been sharing this one. I'm just looking for price to pull back on this key level for a potential swing trade to go short. And it's taking so much time. We have the clean break, the level, and 61.8. We have all the confluences in line with the downtrend, of course. So we only have to wait. Gold, I don't really have much to say on gold. I'm not really looking for any trade. Although it could have been a potential entry on this test after we were expecting this retracement back on the zone and continuation. Price managed to make a nice pullback. This was a very nice entry indication, but it was midnight or 2 a.m. Where I live, so it couldn't really enter on this one, and I don't really trade gold that much, so I probably would have missed anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much all the setups I wanted to show you guys. As always, this is recorded so you can rewatch. As these are so many setups that you really need to rewatch this if you forget a few of these. But we definitely have some nice potential trades for this upcoming week that I'm looking forward to, and we have covered so many. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live session. I hope that you took some notes and that this will help you throughout this upcoming week to choose your trades and manage your positions accordingly. And I wish you guys a great trading week, and I'll talk to you guys on the next weekly outlook. Bye bye.